Shalom everyone, it's called Torah, and today we're going to discuss Parashat Vayechei, really the parsha that concludes the entire book of Genesis, the entire book of Sefer Bereshit. And as we remember and review in our minds the entire book, it really began with creation, some kind of disappointment from human beings with the generation of the flood and the generation of the Babylonian tower. And then we learned about Abraham and his family, the struggles, the ups and the downs of life. And in today's parsha, Yaakov passes away, and also Joseph, this son that was the favorite son for Yaakov, went through a lot of tribulations and afflictions, became the second in command in Egypt, and in a way created a safe haven for the Jewish people. And then he dies in this parsha. Before he dies, he says something to his brothers. He asks them the following. He says, I know that I'm about to die. And I also know that we are going to be here in Egypt for a long, long time. And we are going to be enslaved. And things are not going to be great, but I'm asking you that when time comes, and I'm giving you the secret when this time comes, that Hashem pakod yifkod Elokim etchem, God is going to remember you. And God is going to take you out from here. I'm asking you, please, that you will command your children, and they will command their children, to take my body, to take my bones with you, to be buried in Israel. And if we fast forward to the book of Exodus, we know that upon leaving Egypt 400 years later, the Jewish people will take Joseph's bones with them to be buried in Israel. And I want to try to analyze this event. We have Joseph, 400 years prior to Exodus, says to his brothers, please don't forget me here. Take my bones with me to Israel. 400 years later, it's being done. What can we learn about it? What can we learn from it? I think that there are some tremendous messages from this story. A, tradition. There is a proof that something that was said 400 years prior to the true event really did take place. The brothers took it upon themselves to tell it to their children, and their children to their children, and their children to their children, till 400 years later, when a Jew by the name of Menachem says, my great-great-great-great-grandfather told me that I need to take care of Joseph's bones. This is an amazing point, how a message, a true message, can be conveyed from generation to generation and can be implemented. That's one idea. There is another idea. Joseph knew that he is about to die, and this safe haven that he created for his own family is going to disappear, it's going to vanish. As God told Abraham in the covenant between the parts, that his descendants are going to be enslaved in a land that is not theirs. Joseph knew the enslavement is coming, but he gave the Jewish people a secret code for redemption. Pakod yifkod. God will surely remember you. And when Moses came along on the historical stage years later, he says the same code. He says to the Jewish people, Ki pakad Hashem etchem. Hashem is going to redeem you. Hashem is going to remember you. This secret code, this secret hope for a better future was coined, was formed prior to the enslavement. This is what I will call Jewish optimism. Knowing that you are going into a very dark period in your life. But you know that this dark period is going to come to an end. It's going to come to an end with an exodus. It is going to come to an end with a glorious salvation and redemption. It gives you hope. And you know that maybe it will not happen in your generation, but it will happen in another generation. And we know we don't live for ourselves. We live and we are alive because of the prior generation, and we will do everything we can to secure the generations to come. So when you think about the end of this book, when there is a transition between the fathers to the children now receive a message of hope. Yes, it's going to be tough. Yes, the Egyptians are going to press you and depress you, but never lose sight. The hope is there. The redemption is there. Pakod ifkod. This is the code for hope. This is the code for redemption. It may not happen in your generation, but it will happen. Continue to believe. Continue to have faith and commitment, because it will surely come true. Thank you.